everybody. Um, I've lost count of what week that we're on. It must be somewhere about week 24 or 25, something like that. Whatever. It's 1 week tomorrow until I do the Great North Run, which is a half marathon. And 5 weeks after that is Amsterdam. So it'll be 6 weeks tomorrow until I'm scheduled to do my first full marathon. So I haven't done very much posting in recent weeks. If you've been following the saga, you'll know that everything was going really well until the end of June, beginning of July, when I'd been having some problems with what I was calling burning toes or hot toes, which has since been diagnosed as Morton's neuroma. So Morton's neuroma is, if you can imagine that my fingers and my toes, the nerves run down the outside of the toes, and as your toes swell up, the joints in your toes, the metatarsals, rub up against each other, put pressure on the nerves, and you get this burning sensation. Or some people get burning sensation, other people get tingles, other people get all sorts of different sensations. So as this continues over a period, a nodule develops in one of your toes, and so the more you run, the sooner that the burning toes sensation appears. So it got down to the point, it started off about 18 k's, which was kind of manageable, but then it came down to 6 or 6.5 k's, and so being able to run for half an hour and then having to stop, that was just no good. So if you look back over the videos for July and the beginning of August, you'll see the trace of everything that I went through in trying to diagnose what the problem was and to try and get over the problem. So we've tried shoes, we've tried goodness knows how many shoes. We've tried insoles, tried all sorts of things, and nothing really was helping. So I couldn't really run. I haven't really run any long distances for the last month or so. I've done, I think, 2 circuits of Loch Leven at just under 20 k's each, both of which were quite problematic. And of course, because I'm not doing longer runs as well as burning toes, I'm now starting to find fatigue sets in even before I do a half marathon distance. So 2 interesting developments to move forward. 2 interesting developments. First one was I went back again to Podifit in St Andrews and spoke to Sarah, the podiatrist, and she did another little assessment, and she reckons that my feet need a little bit extra raising on the outside of the forefoot. And she says she can put a wedge under the forefoot in the middle, which will raise, it'll kind of do that kind of a job, put a little bit of a lateral arch in, and that has the effect of spreading out the toes so that we have more space between the metatarsals, and therefore there won't be as much pressure on the nerves. So that's cool. I haven't collected them yet, so I can't say whether that's actually working. At the same time though, my physio, we were talking about that, London physio in Glenrothes, and it's Denise Smith, I think maybe, that is handling my case. So 4 days ago she had a look at my toes, and she confirmed. She said, well, normally if you've got quite an elevation on your arch with your orthotics, which I do have, you'd expect the outside of the forefoot to be lifted up. So that coincides with what the podiatrist has just done to my orthotics. Now, she said the reason for that is that when you're running, the bulk of the propulsion comes from your big toe and the ball of your foot. Whereas what's happening with me is that my feet are kind of going in that direction, and instead of this propelling me, it's this part of the foot that's propelling me. So it's my little toes and the weak part of the foot which is doing the propulsion. And she said that after she did an examination, she said there's damage to the connectivity tissue between the tendons on the top of the foot and the plantar fascia on the bottom, on the sole. So there's damage to the connective tissue, and that's been caused by launching off on the wrong part of my foot. So that's cool. So either get your orthotics changed, which I have, or go back to neutral insoles, which is what I have on just now. I have to confess I don't have very much confidence anymore in orthotics, but that's very personal. And I've no foundation for that other than my personal experience. And I will give the new ones a try, and hopefully they'll work quite well. But I'm not going to hold my breath. So 4 days ago, after doing that assessment, she did the physio did some ultrasound treatment and intervention therapy, and diathermy. That was the other one, I couldn't remember the name. Diathermy treatment. So she's done quite a lot of work on the problems that she found with my foot. I haven't been able to get out for a run since then, and in any case she always says to leave 2 or 3 days after getting treatment for your foot to recover, or your leg, or whatever it is, to recover. So that was 4 days ago. So I've now come to Creighton Country Park, my usual favourite little haunt, and my plan is to try doing 15 laps, which is about 22 kilometres, something like that, 15 miles. It's roughly 1.5 k's per lap, or 1 mile per lap. If I can do that, that's more than a half marathon, so hopefully we'll get through that without any injury. Looking ahead, next week is the Great North Run. I think I'm going to do that using my old pre-orthotic Nikes, because they are really comfortable, and I know that I was doing 15 k's and 15 miles in them a couple of months ago. That was where my whole is orthotics, the solution or the cause of the problems. That's where all that came from. So I'm quite confident that if I can do 15 miles today, then there's no reason why I can't do the Great North next week. And I've done 2 20k runs. A couple of weeks ago I did 2 of them within the same week. So I'm reasonably happy that I can do the Great North, the half marathon. I then have 5 weeks to complete the marathon training for Amsterdam, and that I really am not confident about. However, we will still go and we will still take part, and I'm sure I will complete it, but I don't really see any reason to boast that I've run a marathon if you haven't really run a marathon. If I have to walk the last 10 miles. So yes, it's all paid for, so might as well go give it a try, see what happens. And some people are saying, well, the sense of occasion just takes over, and you'll find that you can run it without any difficulty. And I hope that's true. but even so, it's not going to be running it properly. So my plan is to do that and just see, go for the fun of it and see how it goes. But enter a second marathon later on, either over the winter period or in the spring, one that we can be fully prepared for, and that I can go out and say I ran a marathon. That's what I want to be able to do, is to say I ran a marathon, rather than I turned up for a marathon and I completed the distance, yeah, but didn't quite run all the way. I want to be able to say that I have run a marathon when I became 60. Okay, so basically that's a catch up on where we are, where we've been. I hope it all makes some kind of sense. We've also had some bits of hardware that I must do a review on. We've got this fantastic Garmin 620 Forerunner 620 watch. I made passing mention of that a park run a couple of weeks ago. I'll do a full review of that. You might remember that I had a disaster with a Carnmore hydration bladder. I don't know, probably about a month ago. I've got a Camelback bladder. It arrived yesterday. It's still in the box. I haven't opened it up yet. So we'll give that a try during the week on a second long run, and I'll do a review of that. And I've got some other quite interesting bits and pieces that I've acquired over the last couple of months that I'll try and do some reviews for. So things have been happening, folks. Not actually improving. My position hasn't improved at all from where it was 2 months ago. Inevitably I've lost a reasonable amount of my fitness over that period. But we'll go out just now. We'll try and do a 15 miler. And I'll do a bit of a review when I get back, but I'll have that as a separate video. Okay, so wish me luck, guys. I really want to be able to do this 15 miles one way or another, and hopefully without any of the burning toes. Okay, see you soon.